So if you've been trying to get into project management, business analysis, or you want to work with the NHS, as a tech professional, or getting that dream job in working with the government, Bisola has done it, and she's going to be sharing her story, how she did it, and all the other things that she's involved in. So, Bisola, over to you. If you're here, please, over to you. We would love to hear from you and learn from you.
Thank you, Emeka, for the introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Abisola. I currently work in the mental health space um, as a project manager in NHS here in England. Um, Thank you, Victoria. Yes, so I have had before this role, I've had about 9 years of experience in other roles, in other industries as well. So I bring in transferable skills and basically different experiences from different sectors. So I just completed my MBA at the University of Sheffield. So coming into the UK, I would say I am coming in from a fresher's perspective, but I would share as much as I can. And also, yeah, lessons learned. That's basically what I'm going to do today, lessons learned. So, yeah, Emeka, if you have questions for me.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So lessons learned. So guys, start getting your questions ready. So Bisola, the thing is, people are like, okay, the way the NHS and all the other civil service hire is different. Their setup is different. They usually do not want to be biased, or they don't want to know any of your personal details. But it's like the more you try, the more you keep feeling. What are people doing wrong that is not getting them to at least be called for interviews? And can you give us some tips on how we can improve our chances of landing a job with the government?
So I'm going to speak from experience. What I know that I did wrong and what I have seen like a couple of people around me do wrong as well is, like Dami said, research. That was the first thing I identified. So I wasn't doing my research. I just had this thing at the back of my head that yes, this job is for me. I am skilled. I have the certifications. I have everything that is required. But what I didn't realize is there are God knows how many people that are competing with you for that role. So at the end of the day, you're not the only one going for that role. You have to just find a way to sell yourself. So what I how I started getting like interviews, because I got a couple of interviews before I landed my role. What I did differently was I had to ensure that I tailored my resumes to like the specific roles. So I'm a project manager, and if you go on NHS, there are God knows how many roles for project management, over 100. If you want to apply for a project management role on NHS, it's different. It's different from like other job boards where you can just submit your CV. So what you do is you fill out like an application, and that application, it can't take you one. If you've been doing it for 1 hour, 2 hours, you're doing it wrong. 3 hours, you're even doing it wrong. Because outside of filling in your personal details, you need to also fill in like the supporting statements. So what I know that they do is they read your supporting statement. That's what lands you the interview. I have been told by one of the recruiters that was kind enough to give me feedback that the reason why they selected me was my supporting letter. So your supporting letter is very important. So you don't just put just anything random. Don't just look at the job summary. The job specification has what you need, the pain points of the company. So if the company has like a 10-page job specification, you can just go to the um, desired requirements and the job summary. Just read the first couple of lines, understand what it is that they're asking for, understand where their pain point is, and then try and draft your letter based off of that. So some of these companies or some of these organizations in the NHS are looking for like different skills and different services that you can offer. So for, let me say, for one of the roles that I applied for, which was a technical role, they wanted someone that could develop maybe a program or a software. I really can't remember. And I'll be very honest, I didn't have that experience and I lied, but I got the role. I lied. That's why I said in previously, I said don't lie. I lied, but I did not know how to defend my lie. But then I got the interview because I could identify that that's what they wanted. So I put that on the in the supporting letter. My current role, I know that what they were lacking is like stakeholder management. So they are not very good with, their stakeholders. They have very difficult stakeholders. So they just need someone that can do that and, manage that for them. So you identify that. If you see that what they need is like customer relations, just go there and read thoroughly what it is that they are asking you for. Because it's one thing for them to put skills. Trust me, if you check it, all of us have all these skills. But you need to actually sell yourself and tell them, okay, now I have identified what it is that you people want. When I get into this role, I'm telling you now that I can actually manage all these things. So you need to write that down in your supporting letter. So how do you do this? If you know you're not very good with, identifying these things, I'm going to say leverage on AI. Put it in ChatGPT if you can. And it's not just putting it there and, expecting it to give you the perfect answer. At the end of the day, it's a robot. You still need to figure out the right commands and the right things to put in there. So put the job description and whatnot in the system, and it will identify the key points that you're looking for. Now, when you do that, you still need to also put in that human touch, because the one thing about ChatGPT is I can tell before, when I first of all started, applying for jobs, I just felt like, okay, fine, this thing looks good, it looks smart. And then I apply and I get my rejection. And then I realized the words were just too, it wasn't the normal, simple English that we speak. So I can identify a an essay from ChatGPT or a cover letter from ChatGPT when I see it now. At first I couldn't, but now I can because it's just ridiculous. So the normal language we use, let me just give an example. If I'm speaking, I would not say, so there are two, three words that, for me are currently cringe from ChatGPT. And I don't know if anybody has had that experience. So if you put in your prompt, it should just generate there are some certain words like adept, robust, um, I really can't remember the rest, but yeah, words like that. So when you put in words like that, it's I would ask you now, do you usually use those words when you're speaking to someone? No. If I want to identify you, if I want to, tell you about my skills, I would not say I'm adept at project management. I would say I'm skilled at project management. And if you want to say, okay, I have like extensive knowledge, ChatGPT will put something like robust knowledge. So those keywords, you need to actually go back and make sure you eliminate all those, languages, take it out and tailor it in your own words. But the thing is, a lot of us are lazy, and I'm not going to say people, us, because I have been in that position. We are too lazy to actually do it right. And that's where that rejection came from my own end. I was just, desperately searching for jobs. I was just, for me, it was more of quantity over quality. If I apply for 20 jobs, one person will call me back. If I apply for 50, one person will call me back. I wasn't actually, focusing on the fact that the quality aspect of it would have gotten me more like responses compared to the quantity. So that's one of the mistakes that I know that I made. I wasn't researching, I was just doing things randomly. So when I identified that, I just had to go back and, fix things and make it right. So you need to be strategic when you're actually looking for a job. What are you looking for? What do they want from you? And again, like Dami said, it's not about packing all the certifications. I have certifications, I have degrees. It's not about that. For me, the job I currently am in, two of us got the role. There were a lot of people that, got called in for interviews, but just two of us got the role. And why did we get the role? I put in there that I'm certified as a Prince 2 practitioner. My colleague did not put that. She is certified, but she didn't put that because when we discussed after the interview, she told me, and I was like, oh, I thought this was part of it. Then I realized the things they put there are just wish lists. They put desired criteria. It doesn't necessarily mean that, you have to have it. Have the knowledge of it. That's fantastic. That's what they want. But having those certifications is not compulsory that you must have all of the certifications. Because if you check it, most of them don't even have the certifications they're asking you to come and present.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we are all packaging ourselves one way or the other. So just have a knowledge of what it is that these people are asking for, so that when you're actually selling yourself to them, they see that, yes, you're speaking and communicating the way they want you to. So that's just it. So for me, I was there. I was able to defend my certification. I put it there. My colleague did not do that. She's very intelligent and she was able to still sell herself. She has that certification, but she didn't put it there. And it was not, it didn't stop her from getting the job. And I'm pretty sure other people that applied also have like one or two of, certifications that we presented. So at the end of the day, it's not you bringing in 50, qualifications or trainings or whatnot. It's you showing them that you are able to do it and you are very knowledgeable um at it. So that was the strategy that I used in getting my role at the NHS and the interviews that I've gotten as well.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I thank you so much for sharing this strategy. Some people had put it in the comments like, okay, I didn't know that ChatGPT will cast me. Like, I didn't know AI will cast me and everything. Oh, yeah, someone says Victoria says very insightful, Bisola. Ada says all in a package. Wow, she's very, no man says, wow, she's very knowledgeable. Yes, we did take our time to get you the best of the best when it comes to speakers and people that have gone through this part. You heard Dami's story. Now you're hearing Bisola's story, how she did it and how she was able to identify some of the mistakes that she was making. So now the question now is, okay, Bisola, I've heard you. I'm going to put my CV together and all that. Is there room for, and I asked Dami the same question, is there room for boot camp? Is there room for mentorship? Is those things, do they add up? Or is it a case of, okay, maybe I've done project management back home in Nigeria or somewhere in Africa. Maybe I've watched so many YouTube videos and I have an idea of what it should be. Is there going to be a difference in terms of somebody that actually has hands-on experience, maybe as a result of being in a very, detailed, a very practical boot camp, or someone that just has the idea and feels like, okay, maybe this is the closest to my skill set. Let me go and apply. Would there be any difference with the two parties?
So if I heard you correctly, the question you're asking is if there's a difference between someone that has like a boot camp experience and someone that has like the practical experience itself. Is
No, no,
that
no.
the question?
Someone that has the okay. So this is it. For a lot of us, we come into the UK and the first things you realize, oh, you need to be good into tech, be a scrum master, business. They tell you all that. It's okay, fine. The next thing you want to do is most people do is they go watch YouTube videos and they go read the job description and say, okay, like you said, I think I can do this. And they now tailor their CV to that job description without actually having those key knowledge. And Dami also alluded to it like, okay, you can tell the difference between someone that actually done this than someone that maybe just watched some videos and has some theoretical knowledge. So my question is, would boot camps that some, not all, but some boot camps give practical knowledge, experience, and even references? Would it come in handy if I want to get that dream job, possibly in tech or in the NHS?
Yes, it will. So, from my own personal experience, I would say 100% yes. So, if you do not have that skill and you just go on YouTube and just search for things, it's possible that you might be lucky enough to get the interview and even land the role, but you would struggle. You would actually struggle um if you don't have that skill that they're asking for. Not to say that maybe you won't find yourself like find a way and all, but it's not something I would advise. I would say if you can't do the boot camp, yes, do the boot camp because I personally, before I left Nigeria, did boot camp. Now, that's not why I'm selling that. It's because I know that it helped me in something else because I was trying to get like into like a technical side. So it helped me a lot. It was a 6 months boot camp. And outside of that, I also watched a lot of YouTube videos. So I have I have the project management experience, but I was pivoting into something else. So I knew that I needed to upskill. It's not just knowing that, yes, you can do this thing. Sometimes upskilling is very, very key. We are in a world where everything is changing. You can't just rely on old knowledge or, old experience that you've had. You need to continue to go with the trend. So I knew I needed something. And so yeah, I put my money out there. I learned the skills and it was extremely helpful for me, I would say, extremely helpful. So, but if someone believes that, they can do that without the boot camp, maybe just take training courses as well. You can do like the free online ones on Udemy or Coursera or even LinkedIn, because I know LinkedIn has a lot of like certifications that they do. So maybe take those courses, watch videos, but you need to make sure that on your own, you're practicing something. So that's just it. You need to practice because if you just get into that role, like I said, you will struggle and you struggle hard. And they would know. So the thing is, even if you get that job, do you have the security? No. They can kick you out in 3 months, in 6 months. So if you're not performing, they can always kick you out. So just either, make sure you have that experience or one way or the other, you get that experience.
Awesome. I totally agree with you. And I can say this firsthand. I know people that were kicked out because they couldn't defend the job. I know people like you can pay somebody to write a very good CV for you. You can fake your way in the interview. And when you finally get that job, you will not be able to succeed. And the funny thing is, if you are now labeled and if it's now a race thing, like, oh, this particular ethnicity, this is what they do, they would lose trust when it comes to hiring some of the people from your own side. So that's something that I would say, please, let's not do that, because whether we like it or not, is affecting some of us. It's not that we're not good enough. It's not that we don't have the job. It's not that our CVs are not good. Dami shared something with me privately, and I'll just let you know. He says sometimes as a hiring manager, you need to tell somebody why you are not hiring the person, not because the person is not qualified, but mostly you've already found your candidate or it's an internal recruitment. So you have to tell other people the reason. And if you ask, sometimes they'll just come up with something. And if you look deeply, it's a smoke screen. It's not that you are not good enough, but like I said, they already have their candidate. So they have to give you a reason why they did not pick you. So that's
Yeah.
something that I would say, please, if you know that you have the skills gap, then I would advise that you get yourself the right boot camp. And I'll be sharing more about that, because that's another area that we realize so many people are losing trust. They don't trust a lot of people that come online and say, oh, we will teach you this, we'll get you this job and all that. So that's why you're part of this platform. And what we do is we ensure that we audit our speakers, we audit the people that we want to work with, so that we don't go around and we put you in the deep blue sea and you can't survive. So that's one thing. So Bisla, we're going to go right into the other part of it. I don't know if you have any other thing you'd like to share before people start asking their questions. So yes, someone said something about NHS. I think I saw a question about NHS. So my question is, being a project manager in the NHS, is it different from being a project manager in any other organization, or is it just unique to the NHS? I just want to have an understanding with that.
I mean, every organization has a structure. I think that's what it is. But the only difference to me is it's corporates versus, I think it's more structured outside. That's what I'll say. I don't want to say too much, but it's more structured outside than it is in NHS. Um, it's just like it's like a government role. Let me say it in that way, simplified. It's like a government role, and you know how they behave in in government. So yeah, that's just basically it. But outside is more structured. I think for the work-life balance in the NHS is way better than outside. There's definitely work-life balance because, like I said,
Awesome.
it's government role. So take that as you will, understand it as you will.
Yeah.
The government job.
It's a good job.
So they don't take life too seriously like that. But yeah, I think professionally, the difference is there's more structure outside than there is in the NHS. But
Oh,
yeah, it shouldn't discourage anyone. Just know that there's more structure outside.
outside. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. So, guys, do you have any questions for Bisola so that we can, she can take some break, drink some water, relax her legs. So while we get on Wiley, then as we wrap up, we can now,
Can I
have
add
a
one
few.
more thing?
Yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Someone said something about the volunteering. If you are in the UK and you've been in the UK, yes, you can volunteer. There are volunteering sites actually that you can get on to just look for all these jobs. There's one I can just remember at Reach Volunteering. That's REACH, then volunteering. You can just go there, put up your profile, your resume, and apply. You actually have to apply. It's like a normal job. The only difference is they would not pay you, but yes, thank you very much, Renye. Reach volunteering. So the only difference is they won't pay you. So take it like an internship. So that's where that skill gap is going to, help you. So and the boot camp as well. Even if you've had a boot camp, you can still do your volunteering. It will help you because you would have extra um resume. No, I'm sorry, not resume, extra
Experience.
no, not experience. Uh
Reference?
reference. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
So you have extra reference, an actual reference to show that you have worked in the UK. So you have legally worked, but you just do not get paid. And so when you're volunteering, you just have to volunteer like between 1 to 6 hours of your time a week. So it's not daily. It's just 1 to 6 hours a week that you would commit to. If you have more time, by all means do that. But if you know that you're studying, just try and dedicate that time. So the another strategy that I used that I forgot to mention, sorry, is when I was doing my MBA, even if you have like a part-time job somewhere, maybe you're working in a warehouse or you're working in Tesco or somewhere, there's nothing wrong with that. But you can't put that on your resume because except you're going into like the pathway of something that has to do with warehousing or Tesco or something, there really isn't anything wrong with that. Put it on your CV. But if and just know how to package it. But if you know that you're not, you don't want to have anything to do with that afterwards, what I would say is volunteer. So when you're going for your interviews, you have that on your resume that you actually did that job for that time being. So it shows commitment. It shows that, you're serious and, you like continuous improvement, you're giving back, you're doing this. It shows a lot. So it actually makes you stand out compared to the next student. I'm not saying candidates as a whole because I mean other people are probably doing something else. I'm saying as a student, rather than just sitting down and just you can do your part-time job, but also try and dedicate 1 to 6 hours of that time and volunteer. It will count. It does count. So yeah, that's another way of getting your foot into the UK job market. So nobody cares about whether or not you've been paid. So don't lie when you get to the interview and say, oh, they were paying me so and so salary because they'll ask you for salary expectations. So if you say, yeah, I worked in this company and they were paying me 50K, 30K, 20K, please don't lie. Some
Hmm,
companies ask you for your pay slip. That's where you're going to get in trouble. So
trouble.
don't do that. You can just tell them, when you go for the interview, simplify, just say, I worked as so and so in a, blah, blah, blah charity. And I volunteered my services there. So the reason why I did that was I didn't want to just sit back while I was doing my master's program or my BSc or my MBA. I also wanted to give back. I also wanted to, show that you just give back. I just wanted to do something. So it's not just like I'm just idle and I didn't really want to have a career gap in my CV. So I just, took on that role. So figure out how to carry that, to your interview. Figure out how to package that because yeah, there's nothing wrong with having 6 months gap. Or don't get me wrong, because
Yeah.
yes, a career break, but it would make you stand out
Yeah.
compared to the next person. That's the difference.
If you want to learn more from Bisola or Wale that is going to speak about the Global Talent Visa and also other business opportunities, please let us know as well. We are doing this for you. It's not for us, it's for you. So if you want to know more about the Global Talent Visa, please let us know. We will see how we can get everybody in a room to do like a general consultation so that we can look through your CV, your criteria, and see if you are fit for it, and then tell you on the next step. So if that's something that you're interested in, also let us know. And if you don't mind, please put in the comments right now 100 for Bisola. She has been so amazing with her insight. She has given you what people charge for. She has told you how you can volunteer, how she didn't get her role, and how she also got her role, and things that you can do. So please put in the comments there. And if you're interested in Global Talent Visa, please put it in the comment there.